I'm gonna get right to the point. Sonic the Hedgehog is not a cinematic masterpiece. I know, big surprise. I went to see this movie with my girlfriend last week, and because nobody asked, I thought I'd share my opinion. Now, there's gonna be spoilers because go form your own opinions before you mooch off of mine, you scavengers. I'm gonna be honest, I loved this movie. I don't know, I was 100% ready to tear this film to shreds walking out of the theater, but looking back, I had so much fun. Like, it was great. The fun was great, not the movie. While I don't know if that fun came from the childlike nostalgia pandering wonder of the movie or my personal tendency to critique everything I consume in real time for my own entertainment, I gotta say I had a good time. I was a softcore Sonic fan growing up. I played some of the games, enjoyed Sonic 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog better than anyone else on the planet, apparently. And I vaguely still have the Sonic Underground theme song playing in my head at all times, where all the adult things are supposed to go. So needless to say, I have less at stake here than the rest of the Sonic fandom. We all remember this, right? I literally have this in my script as, and then flash an image of Goat Demon Sonic. The internet has already torn this mutated abomination to shreds. There's literally nothing more that I could add, but we all remember it, so I was scared at first, and then the studio, in a brilliant and honestly, it was a standing ovation level move, they just acknowledged the horror that they created in a day and went back to the drawing board. Now, I'd never seen the fan reaction to a movie change something to this big of a scale, so for that alone, I was gonna go see this movie, right? I feel like it takes passion to listen to the cries of a disgruntled fan base that quickly and that precisely. I felt like I had an input in this movie just as a result of that. Now, before we continue, just a little disclaimer. I'm not approaching this film as a kid's movie, right? You're welcome to your own opinion on this, but you're wrong and bad and go away. As me and Nat walked out of the film cinema, we saw a couple of kids just moving and doing kid things, I don't know. And I just looked at them and I was like, look, you guys, you have no stake in this, all right? Sonic 06, did you even exist when that, no, this movie isn't for you, this is for me, leave, go away, I don't want you here. This movie isn't for kids because the kids of today just can't appreciate Sonic the way that we do because we grew up with Sonic. So while Sonic is a kid's property, this movie is for the kids who have grown up. So by virtue of that, I don't see this as a kid's movie, so I'm not going to look at it like a kid's movie. So with that explanation out of the way, how did the film do? Story. What do you want me to say, guys? I said I had fun. I didn't say they done anything groundbreaking in terms of the film itself. I enjoyed the opening scene well enough, and unfortunately, it's about as close as this film actually gets to a Sonic game. The opening of the movie is enjoyable, sort of rushed exposition, but I don't mind it. They took an unexpected route having Sonic's mom die right on screen, and I almost felt sad, except I knew her for 10 seconds, and I already hate Sonic because he's an idiot or a jerk. I'm not really sure which. I'll be getting to it more later, but even as a kid, he goes out of his way to disobey his mom for no reason, which leads to her death. And you might think I'm being a bit too hard on him because, well, he's just a kid, and at first I thought the same thing. So I watched more, and he just gets worse. It's he learned nothing, and I'm I don't expect him to pull a Bruce Wayne and fight crime or anything, but I certainly expect him to keep the shenanigans to a minimum to avoid any further casualties. Moving right along, we have an easily set up plot and Sonic being just the worst to this one crazy guy, but there is one scene though that leads to me having questions because we see him in multiple places at once in ways that don't make sense. So I have to wonder, is he really that fast, or is the movie telling us that he's so lonely that he's actually gone crazy and he'll have a soft subtext of mental health issues that he'll be overcoming over the course of the movie? It's the worst one, and the second one too, but worse because Sonic's speed becomes a real issue for me later on. How is there a plot? In the bar fight scene later, we see him display even greater, more ridiculous levels of speed, and all the other people are around, so we know it's real, but that makes him Quicksilver times 20. So I don't know what they were thinking with that because how has anything hurt him ever? We see Sonic and Tom get into fights and near-death experiences, and in all of them, barring the last one, I'm sat wondering why is this a threat, or why is Tom trying to fight this robot with a stick when Speed Jesus is literally right here? Barring the very last fight in the movie, all the conflict that arises makes no sense. How did Tom even manage to shoot Sonic in the first place? That's what kickstarted the, you know what? Okay, so They just made him too fast for this movie. It made it so that rather than just enjoying some of the scenes, I was just questioning it. And also we meet Eggman, and I gotta say, he's enjoyable. Like, he's over the top on rare occasion, but I'm never offended by him. He is what makes a lot of the fun moments in the movie, and I almost never find myself cringing, which is better than I expected based on the trailers, to be honest. After that, we see Sonic meet Tom, and the rings kind of show off what they can do in a contrived way that also kind of kickstarts the plot. But if he can go anywhere he thinks, then why doesn't he just bypass the mushroom planet that he hates so much and go anywhere else? It doesn't really make sense, and clearly not that much thought was put into it, but like, it seems like an easy fix. I did think it was cool though. I thought it was super cool that they made the rings like part of the lore like this, because they even though I don't think they thought it through, they get points for creativity. The rings as portals is super cool, and it calls back to the level completion in some of the earlier games. So yeah, a lot of my other complaints are kind of nittier and grittier. Like, even though Eggman has the entire US Army behind him, he goes to get Sonic alone, which, I mean, like, why? What was the point of even including the military? Like, we only ever see the one guy once. And they take it even further. Like, they labeled, after the escape, they labeled Tom as a terrorist, and I don't think this movie, it just doesn't know if it wants to be serious or not. And I love this because it just makes everything that happens later so much funnier, because he's on the news as a terrorist, and then at the end of the movie it's just like fine, and no one ever actually resolves this. But yes, Tom the terrorist and Sonic are on the run. Shenanigans happen. The one thing that's kind of annoying is that the shenanigans that happen are just Sonic being irresponsible, and I'm like, yo, your mom died on screen like 40 minutes ago, why are you this stupid? But he's not a very likable protagonist, and it spiked for me at the forced, oh no, you're leaving scene, because like, what are you doing? Like, why are you crying and literally exploding over this? Like, egregiously forced, and my least favorite part of the movie, netting an unearned resolution later. Like, it just, I hated it. He's the least likable character in his own film, and he's not like any incarnation of Sonic that I can remember. So I'm gonna go off script for a second and I had a theory about how they were presenting Sonic when it came to mental health. You know, him being in multiple places at once, him randomly having explosions of random emotions going back and forth, talking to himself all the time. And I was like, okay, maybe they're just gonna be like, he's really messed up because he's been lonely for such a long time. And then he and Tom are going to address that and then work on like fixing it together. But no, he's just like that, I guess. And I feel like it would have been a lot more interesting. It would have felt a lot less like traditional Sonic, and I don't really think this is a place for subtext about mental health, but like, it would be better than what we got, because what we got is just a confusing mess of a person who's kind of annoying with no justification or reason as to why he's like that. Like, it's just random and stupid, but whatever. I get that it's a stretch for a quote unquote kids movie, but yeah. Anyway, there isn't much else to say. Okay, that's a lie. I had a ton of other stuff to say, but I'm gonna cut it because yeah, it's not necessary. This is just me giving like my initial thoughts right after having watched the movie. Those are the main things, but yeah, I had fun. You probably did too, and I'm hoping this review was enjoyable. If you're watching this, you've already seen the movie or you don't care too much, this was just me sharing. Sorry if it was a bit all over the place, because I literally only decided to do this like 30 minutes into the movie, so there was no structure in place here. Follow me on Twitter, and bye. Oh wait, no, the end credit scene. How could I forget? It was fine and horrible, but fine. Okay, I should probably explain. So had I not ruined it for myself, it would have been fine. Basically, I saw that there was an end credit scene, and I saw like something was coming, and I got myself so hyped up because I'm like, yo, is it, my girlfriend was like, oh, is it Knuckles? And I was like, yo, what if it's Shadow the Hedgehog? And I was like, oh, the next movie is about to go off. It's about to happen. It's about to go down. And then we see Tails, this side man, this player. I'm getting mad. Because like Tails is fine. I guess he flies around with his tail. That's cool. I guess he's there on the sidelines, I guess. But like, because I let myself begin to believe that it could be Shadow up, because now it's like, oh, the next movie is going to be the Sideman movie, and then maybe next movie we can get like a showdown between him and Shadow, because I know people don't like Shadow, but just thinking about him in the context of these kinds of movies, like it would flip the script entirely, and it would be so much fun. And yeah, Tails. We got Tails. Yeah. Okay, bye. For real this time. You can leave. Go away.